How is the audio? Can everyone hear me? Just let me know in the chat if you can hear me and if my audio is okay. Is the audio okay? I see a comment that it's okay, so I assume that the audio is okay. We'll just wait for a few minutes before we. You can put in your questions. This is only about PhD in Netherlands, the stream. You can put in your questions. Okay, great. Audio is good. So you can put in your questions. And I would appreciate if they are about PhD in Netherlands. I will wait a few minutes because I started, I think, 3-4 minutes early, and then try to start answering the questions. By the way, this stream will be, I think, like 30-45 minutes. Depends on how many people, how many questions are there. So maybe something like that, or maybe like an hour, depending on if I get too many questions. So Amol, our first guest, Amol is saying audio is fine. Okay. Arka Jyoti has a question. Would you suggest doing a PhD at a Max Planck Institute, considering that PhDs are not given that much priority there? I don't know from where you heard that, Arka Jyoti, that PhD at Max Planck is not considered, I mean, not given priority. It's really good. Like Max Planck is one of the top tier, the group of universities which come under Max Planck MPI. They are the top tier uh, group of universities in Germany. So I don't know why you think that they are not given much priority. So it depends. Like after PhD, if you want to go to industry, you can always do your R&D research accordingly. And if you want to be in academia, then when you're in Max Planck, there's no issue. Mysterious thoughts, I would appreciate, as I said, that please try to ask question about PhD and in Netherlands. I would very much appreciate, although I can answer questions about others. So MSc in Netherlands, just short answer I can give you, because this video is not about masters. Yeah, it's a good option, but be careful about the finances now, the expenses, if you don't get a scholarship. Amol has a question. Our first guest, Amol has a question. By the way, who are joining new, so I normally do these streams live to answer your questions, and you can always book an one-on-one appointment with me if you want to talk with me face to face instead of typing your questions here. You can always book an one-on-one appointment on calendly.com. So check calendly.com/SambitPhD on the top of the page, and you can always book one-on-one appointment directly. So we have some guests from Brazil also. Good morning from Brazil. I don't know, so maybe it's a morning in Brazil. And good morning, Euclides. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. So let me go to Amol's question, and then I will come back serially to the other questions. By the way, who are joining now, you can always put in your questions in the chat, and don't forget to smash the like button so that it helps the algorithm to show this video to others, and also share this video, help each other out. Amol is saying I have a bachelor's GPA of 7.6 from NIT and a master's GPA of 9.5, 1 year work experience not in relevant, chance of landing in a good institution, Netherlands for PhD, mechanical engineering. So, as far as my experience is considered, my experience says that if you apply for a PhD in the Netherlands, your master's, even though they see your bachelor's grade, but your master's grade is the main thing that they focus on, and also your research experience during master's, maybe in terms of publication or maybe in terms of projects or thesis, whatever you do in probably second year of master's. I don't know how it is structured in India in NIT. So NIT or IIT. So in that case, you are like, you have masters from IIT and with a very good GPA, as I see 9.5. So there I don't see an issue. And also you are saying your work experience, and if you have something on the research part when you write a PhD, then try to also expand on that or try to build your story around your research experience. Even if you don't have publications, don't worry, try to highlight that in your motivation or cover letter. You can always have a look at my motivation letter for PhD. So I made a video on my channel. You can type on YouTube, search motivation letter space SambitPhD for PhD or something like that. Then you will see that video, and that will give an idea how to write a motivation letter and how to highlight your research experience. So I think you have a pretty good chance because your profile looks very good. Aditi Mandal is asking what is the cost and how to get scholarship. So Aditi, what is the cost? So PhD is free. If you don't know by now, I have made many videos. You can check the playlist PhD in Netherlands, or you can also see the interviews with other European countries. But most European countries, including the Netherlands, PhD is free and it's like a job. So you get a monthly salary. On that also I have made a couple of videos. You can always type on YouTube PhD salary space SambitPhD, or if you type PhD salary, I think top 5 videos will be mine, because I've made a lot of videos about my PhD experience and others' PhD experience in the Netherlands. So yeah, you get a salary, and so that's why there's no question of scholarship, because you get a monthly salary and you get all the benefits as an employee. Vipasa Sharma, I am MSc in microbiology in 2014 and then Bachelor of Education. Can I be eligible for PhD in education? Yeah, it's definitely. Okay, so you wrote in a reverse chronological way. That's why I was confused. So you have Bachelor's in Education probably and MSc in microbiology in 2014. Will you be eligible for PhD in education? Normally here it's not that important that what you did your master's you should exactly do in a similar field. There is always a transition possible. If I understand correctly, then you did your bachelor's in education, so you were kind of in that education domain, and then you switched your master's to microbiology. So probably if you want to do a PhD again to go back to education, then probably you need to highlight that in your motivation letter. It's a matter of explaining to the committee, to the hiring committee, like why you want to again go back to education, or how some aspects of education were already researched by you or studied by you during your MSc in microbiology, and how that can help you when you do a PhD in education. And it's always possible. It is very flexible. The only thing is they want to see whether you are the most fit candidate, and if suppose you are, I would not say that, but if suppose you are unlucky, Vipasha, then maybe someone who is not in the field of someone who has done masters in education might be given priority, but you always have a chance. So Euclides also asked that is PhD kind of a job? So I already answered that. If you have heard by now that PhD is a job, you get a salary, you get all the benefits. Good to know that I pronounced your name correctly. Yeah. Subham is asking, I wanted to know what selection committee want to see in the motivation letter. So selection committee sees lot of things, not only motivation letter. Why I'm saying motivation letter, like sometimes people have very good profile, like your CGPA, work experience and everything, but they don't know how to write a good story in the motivation letter. Motivation letter is more about storytelling in a very concise manner. That's why check my video, type on YouTube, search motivation letter for PhD space SambitPhD, you will find my video, or motivation letter for PhD. I think my video will be the top one. That will give you a very nice idea. That's around 7 minutes or something. I have divided it into different parts of how you write a motivation letter, giving example of my motivation letter, where it helped me to get admit. So motivation letter is very important, Suvam. They want to see specifically, like, if you are a good storyteller. By good storyteller, I mean if you can concisely, maybe in one A4 page or one and a half maximum A4 page, you can put in your thoughts and your expertise to the committee to somehow convince them that you are the best fit candidate for that position. So you need to kind of convince them. By the way, who are joining now, if you want to book an one-on-one appointment, you can always check the calendly.com. You can talk with me face to face. Otherwise, feel free to put your comments in the chat and I will be answering across this live stream, and it's absolutely free. Okay. Vedant is asking, Vlissingen is a good place. So I have been to Vlissingen couple of times. I don't know. I mean, any place in Netherlands is good place. Only thing is depends on what you consider as good. So maybe you want to be living near public transport or in a big city, or you want to be living in a peaceful area, just like I live, where transport is very far, but the nearest public transport is really far, but I love to be in a quiet place. So it depends on what you consider good. So in general, any city in Netherlands is good. Siddharth Malhotra is asking, there is 20-week internship written in the master's course. So Siddharth, in this video I'm trying to answer questions about PhD in the Netherlands, but still I will try to answer you in short, but this video is not about anything else from PhD. 20-week internship written masters is the 20 is in the form of only one company or 2 to 3 companies. Normally, be it Netherlands or Germany, the rule is like that is the maximum hour you can work. So in that hour or in that week, you can always have multiple companies, but then you need to have that proof. Otherwise, you might run into legal problems. So it is possible, as far as I know, that you can combine companies. Vedant Malhotra, HZ University in Vlissingen City is good. I don't know what is HZ University. Please expand HZ University. I've never heard that name. Sorry. Kishore Kumar is saying, I don't have a research publication during my MB Mechanical. Still, am I eligible? Yeah, you are definitely eligible. So, as I said, like research experience or publication. By the way, who are joining now, you can like the video so that it helps to show to everyone. That's how the algorithm works. And also please share the video with everyone so that it also helps them. I don't have a research publication, so it's not mandatory, but if you have, you always have an edge. So suppose there are like 20 applicants, 10 applicants, then maybe it might not be that vital in your selection process. But if you have more competition, then I would say if you have a publication, is always useful. But most of the positions, when you see the job advertisement on academic transfer, you can always see that they don't need a specifically some research publication as a mandatory requirement when you apply. So Aditya Ranjan is asking, are there any paid research position like JRF in India apart from PhD in foreign university? So there is something called research. So like after masters before PhD, I don't know the exact terminology. It is called something like a research experience, research engineer or something. I don't know the exact name. You can check on academic transfer, you will find it. But getting that is again not easy. They are very few in number, but you can do that. It's like a bridge between masters and PhD, and if you are willing to spend some more time and also get like a stipend or a salary, then you can go through that path before doing a PhD after your masters. So that is somewhat like a job, paid PhD research position, you can say. So I see that I have answered all the questions. So today I don't see that many questions. I don't know if people want to ask anything or not. I will just wait for a few more questions, people coming in. Selva Mani S. I'm a graduate in genetics and I'm currently employed as a project coordinator. Could you help me get a PhD? So I am not a consultant that can help you, but obviously if you have any questions, you can ask them here and I can guide you. And if you want to talk with me one on one to have a look at your motivation letter or give you some personalized feedback and also talk with me on a video call face to face, then you can always use the Calendly link on the top of the page to book an appointment for one on one appointment with me, so we can work together. What are your strengths and weakness and where can I help you? You can book a session there. uh, but yeah, one thing I can mention here is that we have something called academictransfer.com. Maybe I can show you here. So academic transfer is basically a website which I have told in many videos. You can check my playlist on PhD in Netherlands. So academic transfer can give you update all the research based positions, PhD, everything is published on academic transfer. So you can check academic transfer if you want to know about that. This is like a, yeah, you can find any research position, PhD, postdoc, anything. You can also create an email alert based on your keywords, type of job you want to search in academic transfer. They have PhD, postdoc, professor. So probably someone is asking about research, so maybe you can search in research and you can find here. So this is like a one website where you can find everything about PhD in the Netherlands. Everything will be available here on academic transfer. So Subham was asking how much we need to pay in Calendly. So please go to the website. You can find all the details are there, very nicely explained. Ilyas Chal is asking, I've applied many times for PhD in Netherlands but never got in. I don't know what is wrong. Should I approach the professor before apply? Any tips would be accepted. So yeah, there are many ways to apply. It's not mandatory that you should mail the professor, but you can always cold email, as I call it, like a cold email to the professors, which is not a formal way to approach, but anyways it is not discouraging to do that. Just do that. Maybe even if you don't see a position, you can always also email a professor that you're interested in their work and you want to do something similar with them. So it's not a problem like to email professors. And if I don't know what is your personal profile and all the details, maybe you can book an one-on-one appointment using Calendly. Otherwise I cannot comment on, or if you want to put something in brief here, if you want to get free advice in the chat. But if I don't know your personal scenario, I cannot say what is wrong. So based on my experience, in one line I can say that there is nothing wrong. PhD, getting a PhD is more about how fitting you are for that position. There are many candidates. It's mostly that you don't probably fit properly as compared to other candidates. It's a more relative thing. So that's why the more you apply, even if it is very discouraging, sometimes people get their admit in 20th application, sometimes in 50th application. So it depends on how fast you find a fitting position match, and if you get that, then you will definitely soon hear good news. But if you want to talk in details about your position, then we can talk. Kishore Kumar is asking, after the PhD selection, Netherlands will give a dependent visa for my family members. Normally the dependent visa is for immediate family members. By the way, who are joining now, you can smash the like button so that it helps to show the video to more people. That's how the algorithm works. So Kishore Kumar is asking, yeah, you get a dependent visa for immediate family members, like for example your spouse or your children, not for your parents. So yeah, you can easily apply for a dependent visa. And normally you can also ask this to the HR, because PhD is like a job, as I mentioned. So you can always ask your HR, human resource, who is handling this, like how I deal with that. They will always guide you whether they can apply for you as employer for the dependent visa, or you need to apply. What is the process? They can always guide you or maybe redirect you to proper websites. And it's very easy to get a dependent visa. That's not a difficulty thing. Okay, so I see I don't see more questions today. less people are asking questions. So I'll wait 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, I will stop the stream if I don't see more questions. Because I was expecting more questions about PhD in Netherlands, but I don't see it. By the way, who are joining now, this stream is only about PhD in Netherlands. If you don't want to type in the chat, you can always book an one-on-one appointment to have a video call with me via the Calendly link on the top of the web page. So I'll wait 1 or 2 minutes because I don't see more questions till now. Otherwise, we'll call it a day very fast, I think, because I don't see any questions. Check my salary video, Ajay. Ajay is asking what is the salary for PhD after tax and is it enough to survive and stay? So check my salary and savings video, you'll get idea. On YouTube, type salary space Sambit PhD, you'll find those videos, or savings space Sambit PhD, and you'll find those videos. So that will give you a very nice idea what is the salary and savings, and obviously they change each year. Approximately in the first year, I think you'll get around 2000 euro after taxes. Second year onwards, it will be 2300 or 400 euros after taxes, and it changes every year. So yeah. And it is more than enough. If you check the savings video, you'll get an idea. For one person, it is more than enough. For family, it depends what kind of family or who is coming and how many dependents are on you, and how many non-salaried members are there in the family. It depends on many factors. So Nora is asking, can I apply in my second year masters? Yeah, obviously you can apply in your second year. So that's what I did. If you want to not sit idle and maybe start the PhD immediately after your masters, then the best approach, in my opinion, will be to start from third or fourth month, or maybe like in the mid of second year masters, like when we write a thesis here, a research thesis. So normally when I'm starting to write that thesis and my research work is over, so probably in the 6th, 7th month of my second year, then I start applying. So that gives me a buffer of like 6 months, so maximizing my chances that if I apply 50 or 100 applications, then maybe I will land in some PhDs. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the video. So I showed you academic transfer, Nora. So if you check academic transfer, PhD positions are advertised all around the year. There is no such thing as fall or spring. So if you see a position, I don't think you'll see a position for 2023 now. Probably it will be in 3-4 months starting soon. So yeah, you can apply whenever you see something. And for 2023, probably you can maybe see after a few more months. GRE and Ielts are mandatory for PhD selection. Kishore Kumar is asking. GRE and Ielts, no, I mean, it depends. Like, at least here nowadays after COVID and also before COVID. So, Ielts or TOEFL, test for English foreign language if you come from a country which doesn't recognize that and it needs that English test. That is sometimes asked, but GRE is not asked in most of the European countries. You have to check specifically for that university. For Netherlands, you don't need GRE. Sometimes they might need IELTS or TOEFL. That is also waived off nowadays. It's more about how fitting you are instead of those bogus, I would say bogus requirements, which are really not that relevant for the PhD. Ilya, I missed your question. Do they mostly accept candidates who have acquired a master's in Netherlands? No, that's not the case. You can do your master's anywhere and you can still be accepted in for PhD in the Netherlands. Can you be accepted for a PhD in Netherlands if you already have one from a country? I'm Argentinian. Thank you. Serious B88. I mean, if you already have a PhD, yeah, you can do another PhD if you want to do another PhD, maybe for some reason, I don't know. So obviously you can apply for another PhD. There might be that if you already have that on your CV, then I don't think it will be seen in a negative light, but maybe you might get questions on that because that's a very unique thing. So not many people do it, so maybe they might ask you like why you do want to do another PhD, what is your main reason, what is your motivation, and something like that. But it is possible. Imtiaz Ahmad Khan is saying, sir, please upload some inspirational story about a journey. I don't know what you mean inspirational. I think if I can help you all via these small live streams, that is already inspiration for me and should be also inspiration for you that someone is there to help you. But yeah, I mean, you can give me some ideas. I don't know how to make an inspirational video. I just make normal videos. And if you want to see my moving story, then you can always check my journey from India to Netherlands. So if you type on YouTube my journey from India to Netherlands, you will find a video where I mentioned, it got some views, so where I mentioned like how I started my bachelor's in India, then how I progressed to my current situation in the Netherlands. So Ajay Narwad is asking, by the way, Imtiaz, that's a good idea, but I will wait for your suggestions. Ajay Narwad is asking, sir, does bachelor's low percentage affect your PhD application? So as I said earlier, master's is more important as compared to bachelor's for getting your PhD. So I don't think that will be a matter of fact, but maybe it depends on the university. But at least in the Netherlands, any university apply, as far as I know, if you have a very good grade in master's with some decent research experience, that will be more than sufficient. Your PhD, like your bachelor's grade, won't cause that much problem. Ajay Narwad is asking, sir, can you please make a video on research interest? Do you mean like what I do research, what is my research interest, or do you mean Ajay like general video on research interest? What do you mean? Because if you mean general video, I don't know how to make video on research interest, but I can always share my research interest and what I'm working on and what is the potential future of those research that I'm doing. If you want to see that, I can always plan, script, and make a video on that. So I don't see more questions. I think today people are enjoying the Sunday, so instead of disturbing anyone, I will probably... It's good that most people have answers to the question. That's a very good thing. So I'll wait one more minute, otherwise I will stop the stream, and hope you all have a good weekend, good Sunday, and maybe see you again in a short live stream on a specific topic. If you want to see something specific, always you can put in the comments or in the chat. So how you can create your research, your own research interest, that is difficult to make a video, as I understand from you, Ajay. But yeah, I will try to tell you some steps, like how I narrowed my path from something broad to something specific, how I move to a specific research interest. Maybe I'll try to make something on that. So thank you everyone. Thank you for asking your questions. It was very nice to see you all and hope to see you again. I will schedule these live streams in the future. Now I'm slowly getting used to this software. And yeah, share the video, help each other out, and don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel. So I will see you in upcoming streams. Till then, goodbye from the Netherlands. Peace. Most welcome everyone, and special welcome to people who joined from Argentina and Brazil. I